Launch ready for WWE Aftershock in 3, 2, 1. World Wrestling Entertainment discussion is live. Cue host Owen Finch.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to WWE Aftershock Extra, where today we're covering our predictions for WWE Elimination Chamber 2025, and we're making history today. This is the first time that we're doing the show while there's a wrestling show on. I assume it's happened before, but this is the first time we're doing it where we know there's a wrestling show on because SmackDown's on. We've probably done it before. Well, I think we've done it before while AEW's been on. We've done it before while probably an indie show has been on, but this is the first time we're doing it covering SmackDown. But I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with the person that's going to be defending his championship. And again, he's got so many nicknames, and it seems like what that comment I just said about AEW, he wanted to say somebody, he held back because he thought better of it. But I'm here with...
No, I'm watching SmackDown, and you asked me not to spoil it. I'll just say someone's doing a very good cosplay. Okay. Someone from Tampa right now. It's very funny.
All right. But, yeah, so I'm here with Lachlan Rampage, Steve Steiner, Ronald Trump. Even though he probably is not going to use that nickname nowadays. Probably not this one either. Vince McMahon. Confirmed Parachute Man number one.
I was the first Parachute Man. I have no idea who the second and the third one are.
That's why I said confirmed. So, and then... what else? Am I missing any? I got Steve Steiner. That's a big one. Am I missing any nicknames? Because I know
Mark Flair, Mean Machine.
Yep. So AEW Smug Fan Slayers. I think that would be more proper nowadays. I think so.
I've gotten to the point where I use my energy on things more productive than the AEW fan base.
There you go. Yeah, what's going on? How you been? You know, you haven't been on in a while. You get to talk about some current WWE products. So, how you been?
Yeah, I've been great. You know, defending champion. You know, it's going good. I'm looking forward to Elimination Chamber tomorrow night. That's for sure. Yeah, I've been looking forward to Elimination Chamber since John Cena's feet hit the floor. I was about to say his floor hit the feet.
I don't know how that happens, but, you know.
So, since John Cena's feet hit the floor at the Rumble, all props to Jey Uso. Super happy for him, but it was immediately like, what the hell?
Yep.
So, immediately, I was just like, okay, he better win the friggin' Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it also. I think this will really kind of define our path for WrestleMania. This is going to be interesting because a lot of people haven't really been a fan of the road to WrestleMania so far. I'm not one of those people. I'm overall looking forward to WrestleMania right now, but, a lot of people, haven't really been a fan of the current path of WrestleMania. So for those fans, maybe the Elimination Chamber will fix some of those issues. It's in Toronto, which is always nice. I always enjoy it when it's in Toronto. It's in... what's it called? I know it was the Sky Dome or whatever it was. It's not that anymore. What is it now? The arena that it's in?
Let me see. Not Sky Dome.
Yeah. I mean, Trish said on the kickoff show today that it's still the Sky Dome. So
the Rogers Center.
Yeah, the Rogers Center. And
what a dumb name transfer.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna take some getting used to. I think a lot of people probably thought that when they changed. The Boston Garden to TD Garden and all that stuff. So maybe it'll grow on people. But yeah, we have 4 matches on the show and a segment on the show and it could all tie in real well. I'm looking forward to Elimination Chamber. So we'll just start off by talking about the show. We're going to start off by talking about first the first match on the show. We have an unsanctioned match. It's Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Very interested in this match. Obviously the feud ramped up again after Royal Rumble when Kevin Owens broke everybody's hearts and attacked, he attacked Sami Zayn and laid him out with the package pile driver.
All right. Sorry, I just had people walk in.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so this started, the night after the Royal Rumble when Kevin Owens, laid out Sami Zayn with the package power driver and broke all of our hearts. And this feud's really intensified the past few weeks, with them cutting promos each other on X. And, Sami Zayn wanted this match, but because of his injuries, Adam Pearce wouldn't sanction this, so it's an unsanctioned match instead. And yeah, this is going to be different, I think. I think it's going to be different than all the other matches they've had in the past, where it's going to be a little bit more violent. And obviously, it makes sense to do this at Chamber. I think a lot of people would have liked this at WrestleMania, but I think it makes sense since they're both from Toronto. You got to go first because you're the champion, but who are you picking to win this match?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go... I think I'm going to have to go Kevin Owens. I don't think they can give Sami Zayn the win yet.
Yeah, I'll be reading Chris Dodd's predictions for him, too, since he couldn't be here today. And he's also predicting Kevin Owens. And I'm going to predict the same thing. I think this is going to be a brutal match, and I think this is going to be over by referee stoppage. I think he'll hit the package power driver. And I could see them taking the path kind of like they did with... was it NXT TakeOver Rival where Kevin Owens just kept beating him up, and the ref stopped the match? I could see them taking that path. And yeah, if Kevin Owens can get so much heat on himself in Toronto, where he's from, even though he's from Quebec, so but that would be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here. We still have Randy Orton that hasn't come back yet, and they still have to kind of finish up their program. They could still continue this. I assume this match will be used to write off Sammy for a little bit. But if Randy comes back, it'll be interesting to see what Sammy's path will be to WrestleMania, because he's got Karrion Kross looming in the background. So it'll be interesting. Then we have a women's tag team match. It's Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. This is Trish Stratus' first match. It's not a Rumble match since Payback 2023. It's her first match in Toronto. Since I think the Raw was she guest hosted in 2009. I think it's the last time she had a match. And yeah, this is going to be a very interesting match. The program leading into this has been pretty interesting. I think this has helped not Trish Stratus, but Tiffany Stratton tremendously get over as a babyface, because she's been kind of struggling with that. The past couple of weeks or so, I think this is finally getting her into a babyface role. It's kind of a way to blow off the Nia Jax Tiffany Stratton feud finally, because they kind of have to do that, and they clearly wanted to get Trish Stratus on the show. I would have thought that they would have gotten Trish Stratus on the show by having to face Chelsea Green, since they're both from Canada, but they probably still wanted to give Chelsea Green the babyface moment there. But yeah, I gotta wait to do my predictions, because I can't say anyone's predictions right now, because Steve's the champion and he could be listening in on this and stealing our picks, and he could get his revenge for doing that. So Steve, do you want to give your predictions for the women's tag match between Tiffany?
I would never steal predictions. That's a John move, 100%. Y'all know it.
Hey, you made the mistake and put your predictions in the chat before John did.
Yeah.
Not realizing he was the champ. So,
I was able to counteract it and win the belt at Mania, though.
Yes, you were.
Good time. Yeah, this match, really no reason not to give Tiffany Stratton the win.
Oh yeah, I agree, and Chris also agrees. I think for a tiebreaker.
Was it Trishy Time's the team name?
Yeah, Trishy Time.
Yeah, there's no reason to have them not win. I mean, as I've said many, many times on this show before, I am so sick of Nia Jax. Like, can she please just go away? The hell, even if she did go away, she's so huge, she'd probably still be on the screen.
Probably. But yeah, so a tiebreaker, should we do who takes the pin? Because a lot of the picks are going to be the same, so should we do who takes the pin? Because Chris picked the same.
Yeah, I think Candice LeRae takes the pin from Trish.
I'll ask Chris right now who takes the pin in the tag match, and then when he gets back to me, I'll answer it. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna say it probably isn't gonna happen, but it's a title match. You gotta throw stuff at the wall. I'll say Nia takes the pin. From maybe Trish hits her with the Stratusfaction, and then Tiffany hits the moonsault, and Tiffany finally gets the win on Nia, and they finally end that because that'd be a good way to end it. But yeah, then we have the first of two chamber matches. We have the women's elimination chamber match, where the winner will face the women's world champion, whether that's Io Sky or Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 41. It's Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez. As we both agreed, we get two picks for this, a secondary pick and a main pick. So we'll start with you. Who's your secondary pick and who's your main pick?
So my main pick for this match is going to be Bayley. I just looking at the card, everyone in there kind of has something set up for WrestleMania already. Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss have directions that they can go in with each other. I feel like Bianca Belair and Naomi, they're kind of tied up. Should be tied up with Jade Cargill. If that doesn't happen tomorrow night, then even if it is interesting, I almost am at that point where I will refuse to like it because it's like, no, do it tomorrow. Done waiting. She's not hurt. She's not injured.
Yep.
If you second.
Oh. To kind of counteract this, Chris did send back. He predicts that Candice LeRae is going to take the pin in the women's tag team match. So there you go. We've tied up all our loose ends when it comes to, tiebreakers and stuff.
What was that?
Oh, I was saying because Chris responded with his pick on who takes the pin in the women's tag match. So I was just responding to that.
All right, yeah, I was gonna say I think Bayley's the primary winner there, just because mainly because with Io Sky facing Rhea Ripley, I'm not convinced Rhea's going into WrestleMania as champion.
Okay.
But my secondary pick is going to be Roxanne Perez, just because you never know when they want to push a rising new star quickly.
Yeah. And whoever was women's world champion at WrestleMania, I think it's going to be Rhea. There's really not a lot of viable opponents in that chamber match for Rhea to face. Because she's faced a lot of them. But I'll say Chris's pick's next, and I can't speak for him, but I assume his main pick and his secondary pick. His main pick is first.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Huh?
Kat Steiner has joined the party.
There's Kat Steiner. But yeah, his secondary pick is Liv Morgan, and I can understand why he feels this way because because of
he doesn't want to predict Liv Morgan. Let's just note this. Chris Dodd does not want to pick Liv Morgan. However, because he knows Triple H is not perfect and has in fact made bad decisions, like the equivalent of doing some really hardcore drugs is a bad decision, as is pushing Liv Morgan.
Yes. And his main pick is Bianca Belair. And as for my picks, my secondary pick is Roxanne Perez for the reason that you said. And, I feel like, that's a match we haven't really seen yet with Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley. I think we saw it like once in NXT, but now the roles will be reversed, so that would be kind of interesting. But also, after what happened, and originally she was my main pick, but after what happened on Raw this past week, where they took the titles off of Bianca and Naomi / Jade, I don't know who was the champs there. I'm going to say Bianca Belair is the other pick. I feel like Bianca and Rhea is a main event WrestleMania type program, and you could really, I think it's finally time to do it. They're both really popular, and this match could be used to turn Bianca heel if they want to finally go that direction type of thing. So that, I feel like that would be very interesting. So I'm going to go secondary pick, Roxanne Perez, and main pick Bianca Belair. So we'll see what happens there. Or, they could go the other way, and that match could be used, if Bianca wins, that could be used to turn Naomi heel and reveal that she was the one that attacked Jade Cargill. So, and just being tired of being held out in this tag team and stuff like that. Because I think she was the one that took the pin in the women's tag match this past week that caused them to lose the belts and everything like that. So, but then we have another match for the Elimination Chamber match where the winner's going to face the WWE champion. But everyone's probably wondering, because Rhea's not defending her belt and Tiffany's not defending their belt, what is Cody going to do on this show? Well, we got an answer on that on SmackDown last week where there's going to be a segment on the show, and we never predict segments, but this segment's pretty significant that we have to do predictions for.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cody Rhodes is going to come face-to-face with Mortal Kombat's own Shao Kahn, the soul-sucking bad guy. And we're going to find out whether or not he steals Cody's soul. And by Shao Kahn, I, of course, am talking about The Rock.
Have you seen that other meme where they've taken the video game and used The Rock to suck the soul out of Cody Rhodes?
I've seen that meme, and I've seen the Mortal Kombat one where it's the soul is.
But yeah, The Rock was on SmackDown last week, and he asked Cody Rhodes if he would be his champion. They've become really good friends since after WrestleMania and everything like that. And The Rock, it looks like his schedule is going to be more available for him to do Mania stuff. And The Rock, gave Cody Rhodes a week to answer whether or not he'll be his champion. And you got to predict for this first. What does does Cody sell out to The Rock, or what do you think is going to happen in this segment?
Mind you, we're only predicting this segment's answer, not whether or not it might change later on. But for the purposes of Elimination Chamber in Toronto, Cody Rhodes will not sell his soul to The Rock.
Will not sell his soul. So it's just the answer, right? We're not going to predict. We're not going to do a deep dive on what we think will happen, type of thing. Or yeah.
I mean, if you want to, go for it. I think he'll say no, and what this means is whoever wins the Elimination Chamber is probably going to have The Rock in their corner.
Of course, he's got to get back to me on his answer.
And if you look at the field, everyone in there makes for a compelling person to have that happen. I'm just reading the list of who's in the chamber. Seth Rollins, what a turnaround that would be, where he talks about, don't sell out to The Rock. He told Cody not to. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think it would make sense for him to sell out to The Rock after that segment this past Monday, though.
Yeah.
Damian Priest, could be interesting, but once again, he just turned face. I don't think he has enough in it. But you look at Logan Paul, he would make a ton of sense to sell out to The Rock.
Yeah.
The question is, do they want to push him into that mega heel status? Drew McIntyre, the guy who's willing to do anything and then justify it as, he can justify it as, well, I was champion during COVID, so did it really count? Not really. And then when I won the belt, I got screwed out of it, so I think I'm entitled to use The Rock to get it back because it's all going to even out and be fair.
Don't forget, too, when The Rock did his Instagram live stream after he was leaving Raw, Drew and The Rock had some type of conversation that we didn't hear during that live stream. That might be...
That's true.
So, that might be something.
And then you get to guys like CM Punk and John Cena, who have had very documented histories with The Rock. Does WWE have the guts to pull a heel turn on CM Punk by putting him with The Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Do they have the guts to do that during John Cena's retirement tour?
Yeah, that's a big question.
If this were December of 2025 and we were nearing the end of it, so that way they could keep it going and not have him retire, I might tell you yes, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
There's really one name in that list, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, Chris's answer is no. He's a big Cody mark. I think he doesn't want Cody to break his heart and everything like that. He wants to keep cheering for Cody, and I think Chris will burst into flames, honestly, if Cody sides with The Rock and everything like that. So,
if Cody sells his soul and Liv Morgan wins the Elimination Chamber, I think we're gonna have a first time ever Aftershock funeral for the soul of Chris Dodd, because that will have officially been crushed.
Yeah, which one do you think will crush him more? I feel like it would be Liv Morgan winning more than Cody selling his soul to The Rock.
Liv Morgan winning would be digging the hole, and Cody selling his soul is putting the dirt over it.
There you go. No, look, I don't personally think it's gonna happen, but it's predictions. We gotta win belts. I'll predict the opposite, just to see if I win, if it gets me the championship. But it probably isn't gonna happen. Because it would be kind of anticlimactic if Cody just said yes and they waited like 2 weeks and he just said yes. But I'll go the other way and predict that it will happen. Maybe they thinking, Cody's kind of done everything that he could do as a babyface, and if they're going to keep this title on him for a while, maybe it's time to change things up and turn him heel, and he could make the people's champion like thin work for him, considering the fact that he's, as we've seen him Ring of Honor and his New Japan run, he can pull out being like a heel very well. And I think Cody will be able to carry himself as a heel. I mean, what would happen though to like Kevin Owens and stuff, who've all turned heel? Like, would Kevin Owens de facto have to go back to being a babyface since he ended up being right in the end? Kind of like what they did with I remember in the NWA when James Storm looked like he was a heel, and then Nick Aldis was the face. But then when we found out Nick Aldis turned heel, it was a conspiracy. James Storm ended up becoming a babyface out of it. Nothing happened.
I remember they did that in TNA when Hulk Hogan joined. Sting and Kevin Nash both refused to join him.
Yep.
And they said it was because they knew the real Hulk Hogan. And then when Immortal wound up being formed, Sting left the next night and said, "Nope, I'm not going to stick around and bail you guys out." And then this is just coming from the heart. I'm still very upset that he bailed them out when he did, because he was supposed to go to WWE around that time.
Yes, he was. And
the contract negotiations failed.
But yeah, you could get a lot of good stuff out of Cody being the heel champion. Like the Seth Rollins program can fire up again. John Cena versus Cody would be very interesting. And Punk versus Cody. Obviously Punk's anti-corporate and everything like that. And obviously the biggest match you can get out of this is Cody versus Roman 3 now, with the roles reversed, with Cody as the heel and Roman as the face, and that can obviously de facto set up Rock versus Roman, and maybe we're going to find out this was all a grand plan by The Rock to, where he can manipulate someone to finally get the title off of Roman without having to do it himself, and that can set up Final Boss versus Tribal Chief. So
it's actually a very good point. But I'm going to stick with my prediction.
Yeah. Again, is it going to happen? No. But again, I got championships to win, and if this ends up costing me the championship, then so be it. But
just remember, there's always the possibility we may introduce a second belt to the Aftershock corner, but that will be a story for another day.
But speaking of the chamber match, we got the men's elimination chamber match.
I can take this one if you want me to.
Yeah, go over the competitors and talk about all the history of it and stuff.
So, the history of the elimination chamber, we're going to start by talking about steel. Steel is a form of metal. Okay, let's skip steel. Let's get to 2025. I kind of mentioned it earlier. I think I'm not the only person in that boat of the second John Cena's feet hit the floor at the Royal Rumble. Everyone said, okay, well, let's get to Elimination Chamber now, because Cena better win that, because, this is just the evolution of John Cena to the point where he is the Omega babyface. Everyone's in his corner now because it's his last year in the company. It seems pretty legit. He hasn't given any indicator that he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, right from the get-go, he did that post-panel where he said, and he didn't hide it either. He didn't wait for Raw or SmackDown. He didn't let it build. He said, nope, you know what? Everyone's already thinking it. I heard it on the way back here. I'm making the call. For the first time ever, John Cena saying, instead of me having to compete in a match to get the spot, you know what? I've put in enough time and effort that I can call my shot and put me in the Elimination Chamber match, and who the hell is going to say no? Because what's their argument? And yeah, there was no argument against it. He's right.
He really was.
He absolutely deserves to put himself in that contention. I do want to point out, he did say because John Cena being in the Elimination Chamber, going on to WrestleMania and winning that 17th title is, and I quote, best for business. I've heard that somewhere before.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe Cena could sell his soul.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Mr. Krabs sold SpongeBob's soul for a nickel.
He did.
Anything could happen.
And I still think it's funny because SpongeBob ended up being so annoying to the Flying Dutchman. Like, the Flying Dutchman's like, yeah, just take him back. Like, this is worse than, like... him.
That'd be the Flying Dutchman if he got sold Liv Morgan. He couldn't stand the laughter, so he just brought her back.
How did that work? Did SpongeBob get his soul back then, since the Flying Dutchman gave him back, or does he still not have a soul? How does that work?
He probably got it back. But outside of that, though, yeah, John Cena's in the match. We got CM Punk, who qualified for the match.
Before you move on, I want to point out, by the way, he didn't sell it for a nickel. He sold it for 62 cents. That's a little bit better.
That's right, 62 cents. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, Punk beat Sami Zayn.
He did.
Where after that match, Kevin Owens started the whole build-up to their match. And then Drew McIntyre was able... I'm trying to think of who everyone qualified against.
I know. I'm just going to see if you can figure it out, Put you to the test.
Logan Paul qualified against Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
Seth Rollins against Finn Balor.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre qualified against Jimmy Uso.
There was one more person.
Was it Knight?
Yeah, it was.
And Damian Priest qualified against...
Again, two people again.
Ooh, so you tell me, I can't remember that one. Who did Damian Priest qualify against?
Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu.
Okay, yep. Yeah, so they've all qualified. I think talent-wise, it's an absolutely stacked Elimination Chamber. Each and every one of these guys is a high-quality competitor. Even Logan Paul. Yes, he's Logan Paul, but he is everything he... Really, if you listen to his promos, he is everything he says he is. He's an athlete who was able to transition very well.
Yeah.
And if you're in the know, it seems like backstage he's fairly popular amongst the roster because he's pretty much kind of the opposite. On TV, he's a loudmouth who brags about himself. Backstage, I've read that he's supposedly very quiet when he has to be, and when he's allowed to talk, he's very confident. So, he's not trying to be the uber respectful new guy. He's like, you know what, I am good, but I still want to learn.
Yeah, which is which is why he's lasted.
Which seems like a lot of people seem to indicate, that's what you need as a newbie in wrestling.
Yep.
But yeah, this will be. It's one thing to say there's going to be a good match. I think when you have guys like Drew and Damian in there, you could see this turn into a real hardcore style Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I remember
not the hardcore Elimination Chamber. We don't talk about that.
Well, until you just did. So.
Yeah, damn it. But yeah, we got two predictions: a primary and a secondary. And my primary, it's really hard to vote against them. I'm going John Cena.
Yep.
Everyone's so behind it, and it's in a good spot where everyone kind of figures, okay, he has to win here. But as we're getting closer, everyone's swearing enough that they're creating scenarios in the head where it's like, okay, but he could lose.
Yeah, he could.
And then my secondary prediction is going to be Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
I think McIntyre could easily surprise us and win the Elimination Chamber. Just come out as the victor.
My Chris and I have the same pick, so Chris and I's secondary is CM Punk. It's his last year to potentially main event WrestleMania, where I think people would care. I think they're gonna care no matter what, but obviously, I feel like somewhat if you kind of don't strike this year, I don't think you'll get another opportunity. You could get it next year, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. He still very well
I'll
could.
tell you something in a second on that.
Yeah, he still very well could though main event WrestleMania this year. Doesn't depending on where they go with it. And then obviously our main pick is John Cena. It's John Cena's last WrestleMania, legit, to main event. And the story of him main eventing against Cody, regardless of how we do it, whether it's Cody selling his soul, whether it's just face versus face, or Cena sells his soul, it would be very interesting. And I think, Cody versus John Cena could be a passing of the torch, with John Cena. He was the face of WWE, and now Cody's the face of WWE. Well, Cody Roman, and you can make the argument of which one's probably the true face, since, Roman's the guy, but Cody's there week to week and everything like that.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to go John Cena as my main pick. And obviously John Cena, it's already kind of confirmed that he's going to be at a few Raws and SmackDowns going into WrestleMania season, like outside the United States and everything like that. So I don't really see why he wouldn't win. I don't know really what else you do with him at WrestleMania if it's not competing for one of the World Championships, and obviously one of them's out of the equation. You could still do something where I guess Cena sells his soul and then it becomes a triple threat, because some people are predicting a triple threat between Punk, Cena, and Cody, but I think your best bet's just doing a one-on-one match, and I think Cena versus Cody or Punk versus Cody, they both work. But I feel like you get more opportunities to do Punk versus Cody than you do Cena versus Cody, and that's a big stage at WrestleMania main event that I think a lot of people could buy into. So, you wanted to say?
Agreed.
You wanted to say something?
I was gonna say I'd like to see Cena versus Punk at Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah,
Because we're better to do it than that. I heard someone made a prediction earlier today. So obviously CM Punk's been very vocal about the Saudi Arabia shows.
Mm-hmm.
And someone points out to me, they go, what? I think CM Punk will win the Royal Rumble next year. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe. It took me a second to be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
In Saudi Arabia.
So he's not winning next year.
Imagine that. Triple H just as one final little get back at CM Punk for all the years that they were at each other's throats. Hey man, you're gonna win the You're gonna win the Royal Rumble, and you're gonna go on to WrestleMania and compete in the main event. All you got to do is do it in Saudi Arabia. Imagine CM Punk being like, "I finally have it. And I have to."
Would he even be able to?
He might just quit at that point. Like, I'm not going back to AEW. I'm just done.
Would he even be able to go there? Because Aleister Black couldn't go to Saudi Arabia because he has like a tattoo on or something that like is like.
Didn't he wind up going, but he wore a shirt?
No, I don't think he's ever been.
I might be misremembering that.
Then again, though, for a while Sami Zayn couldn't go, and they changed that.
To the credit, to the credit of WWE and that relationship, they've been able to push things in a pretty good direction.
Yeah, so
obviously they had those first couple of years which were rough, but ever since then things seem to have cleaned up pretty well.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our Elimination Chamber predictions. Very excited for this show. Nothing else we got to predict.
Nope. Don't you worry, folks. This picture right here is not going to change after Saturday. It's staying with Daddy.
What are you gonna do WrestleMania week? You're gonna defend it on what, 3 shows?
Well, I have a brilliant idea for how this title is going to be defended at WrestleMania. I might as well tell you it right now. Is if you've ever seen championship soccer, they play 2 games back-to-back as 1 games. Well, we're going to be defending this title 3 games back-to-back, and they all count for 1, which means you're going to have to predict for NXT, WrestleMania Night 1, and WrestleMania Night 2. And at the end, every prediction gets tallied up for the weekend.
You're doing. I'm not good at math, so you're tallying up. You're gonna be the one that tallies that up. I'm putting that.
I will. If we have to do tiebreakers, we'll go with who does the longest Hall of Fame speech.
Well, that really isn't a thing anymore though, because they've shortened the Hall of Fame nowadays and everything like that. So.
Well, I mean, the fact that Triple H is going in, I mean, I feel like he's gonna try to cheat that system a little bit.
He runs the show too, so it's not like But yeah, that's pretty much it for this Aftershock. At some point Monday, again, something could have happened. Something could happen on SmackDown tonight where we find out there's another match on the show, or like someone could get injured tonight. But we'll have to wait and see what happens.
For all we know, Damian Priest's spot could be stolen by the best thief in wrestling of all time, the wrestling thug, Brad Maddox.
You're still doing. You realize we're coming on. That joke's been going on almost 10 years. Not quite 10 years yet, but almost 10 years, and it's never gonna die.
10-year anniversary of the wrestling thug in September.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a special.
He stole. I remember when the wrestling thug stole the check from the Susan G. Komen kids.
He didn't do that.
Sure, he did.
Only Hetty did that.
He stole the cash from the Money in the Bank.
I feel what the funny thing is. I feel like you would be able to get that storyline over to Vince at that time. Vince would have taken that story.
He would have done that. Yeah, someone stole the contract. I mean, I did a what if once that I don't know if I ever got to actually present it, where the Wyatts interfered in a Money in the Bank and stole the contract.
Yeah,
and like Triple H and Vince were actually came out and are actually playing it off as if they were pissed, and they put a bounty on the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
But they're impossible to catch because they just turn the lights off and disappear. So I was saying, initially it starts out with Triple H doing a $1 million bounty to catch the Wyatts and get the contract back, and they eventually cash in, win the Bray cashes in, wins the belt. Bray, rest in peace. And then Vince McMahon comes out and turns it into a $1 billion bounty to whoever injures Bray Wyatt and gets the belt.
Oh my gosh.
I still have that written down somewhere. It was
really.
It was actually a decently realistic storyline. It was just that right amount of batshit craziness.
I feel like we got to bring back fantasy booking series, so you could just do your. Do you want to say a funny? So to talk about the Wyatts, do you want to say a funny thing you said in the chat a few weeks ago? Since you've made this joke before and everything like that.
So as you know, I used to think the Wyatts were the Watts because he came out with a obviously electric lantern. I was like, okay, maybe this gimmick is they're a bunch of electricians.
And also because you said you didn't watch NXT Weekly, so you would read the spoilers.
And I was saying, I wonder what the Watts 6 are up to. They're probably off doing some power drill shit or whatever, because they're the new electricians of the WWE.
Yes, they are.
I will add this out there, even though it's not a prediction, we're scoring. Wyatt 6 will make an appearance at Elimination Chamber in the women's match.
It's true, because they could. They've been teasing that recently, so.
Actually, maybe not in the match, because I think they're going to be allies with Alexa Bliss more than enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, Nikki and Alexa reforming to go against Liv and Raquel could be good.
It could be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything you want to plug
Actually,
up?
I just ran that through my head. I'm like, actually, that sets up for Judgment Day versus Wyatt 6. This is very good stuff going through my head. Stuff that we'll talk about later.
Which is kind of unfortunate considering the fact that they moved the Wyatt 6 to SmackDown and Judgment Day on Raw, so they can't do the men's.
They can just do cross-brand.
That's true. I was gonna say because they can't really do the men's version of that feud. But yeah, anything you want to plug or promote before we get out of here?
I really hope John Cena wins. I need to see him win that 17th belt.
What are you gonna do if he wins it though? Because obviously Ric Flair changes his mind of whether or not what the record is of world titles. You know, Ric Flair is gonna be like, "Well, that really wasn't the record," type of thing. What are you gonna?
I feel like Rick will be fine.
Yeah, but
Ric Flair is many things, most of which aren't good. But one thing he has never really come off as is salty. Like, I feel like if it's when fans get in his face about it, but if someone, if it comes down to John Cena winning it, he'll be like, all right, whatever.
yeah. What are you doing? What are you gonna say to the fans though that say that the fact that that's not really the record since Ric Flair really had 23 world championships type of thing. So
Whatever.
you'll let him have it. So
Yeah.
yeah, check out, the On the Talkinator channel for all your non-wrestling videos. We have some wrestling videos coming up on this channel. We're going to bring back retro. We're going to do some WrestleMania retros. So if there's a WrestleMania out there you want to do, you're kind of limited because all the WrestleManias you went to, for the most part, we've done already. And you'll have to send you a list of the ones we've done. You can pick a WrestleMania if you want to do a WrestleMania. And we have to do your TNA lockdown predictions, not predictions, retro at
Review.
of 2008. Wrestle docuseries is coming back with the Chris Dodd and I, and potentially Steve if he's available, doing the first 3 episodes of LFG. And then all the old Aftershock Corner people are going to get back together, and we're going to do the first episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which is about what's it called? Match Made in Heaven.
Yep. The match made in heaven.
Yeah, with Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth relationship. And then, Aftershock, we'll be doing that weekly. Monday we'll be recording, a review of Elimination Chamber and NXT from this past week. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And since it's being recorded in the past, we will talk to you guys in the future.